AFE Navigator 2017 introduces some new functionality to better facilitate tracking estimates for large projects, both in terms of project duration and project complexity. My name is Jeff Clement and I'm the product manager for AFE Navigator. Let me show you how it works. On a typical AFE and AFE Navigator, such as this workover AFE here, we have a single column that tracks our AFE's estimate by GL account. We can then import our actual costs or our field costs at the GL level and compare those to what we budgeted, allowing us to see whether or not our project is on track. However, when a project spans multiple years or contains multiple distinct project phases, it becomes difficult to determine, when the project's ongoing, whether the project is on track because of the lack of granularity. For example, if we have a 5-year project with a total budget of $5 million, and by the end of the first year we spent $1 million, are we on track? On the surface, it's difficult to say. We know what our total budget is, and we know what we spent to date, but we don't know, without more information, if this is what we should have spent by this point in the project. We could guess. We know that we have a $5 million project split over 5 years, so we could assume that we're spending $1 million a year, and according to that, it looks like our spending is on track. But what if this isn't the case? If we have an AFE like this one, where up front we have some minor expenses, but the majority of the spending happens in the final years, then having spent $1 million at the end of the first year would indicate that we are grossly overspent. The changes to estimates in AFE Navigator 2017 allow us to identify these types of overspends sooner so that we can make better decisions. AFE Navigator 2017 allows you to further break down your AFE estimates based on when you will actually be spending. On this AFE, we have a 3-year project with an estimate split over 2015, 2016, and 2017. In this case, the costs are broken down yearly, but they can also be captured quarterly, monthly, or a mix of the three. Not only does this help with planning, because I'm indicating when the spending will happen, but we can also now compare those to our actuals or field costs and quickly identify if our spending is on track given where we are in the project. So when I choose to show my actual cost detail, I can now see what I budgeted for each year and what I've actually spent. This allows us to find overspends more quickly instead of only catching them at the tail end of a long-term project. Another way to break down the estimate on an AFE is to break it down by project phase. Now these phases are something that you configure within the AFE Navigator. For my sample AFE here, I have 3 phases. I have preliminary costs, drilling costs, and completion costs. And my costs are allocated to these 3 different phases. As before, we can choose to show actual cost detail, and then we can compare what we budgeted for each project phase and what we actually spent. And finally, for complex projects, you're able to break down your estimate based on the project phase and the time period, such as this AFE where I have 3 project phases, preliminary costs, drilling costs, and completion costs, split over 2 years, 2017 and 2018. And now if I'd like to change how I see this information, for example, I'd like to see overall what my drilling costs are, AFE Navigator includes some tools to allow us to change that. So I can group by phase, and now I have my drilling costs rolled up. In summary, AFE Navigator 2017 now supports tracking additional estimate detail by project phase and by project time period. This allows faster identification of overspends and more visibility into where those overspends occur. As we as an industry move towards more complex projects, AFE Navigator's new estimate functionality is there to ensure that you have the tools you need to manage the capital costs for those projects.